going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Pete's Carport. I want to start this video off by thanking all of you guys who have watched the past videos on this VIP build, and just for all the interaction, for all of the education on certain things, whether it be parts of the car, whether it be history of the car, whether you like this or not like this, what you would do if it was your car, and the most important one was safety. A few of you guys actually commented on the last video about the dash being the dash tray being in front of the airbag. I want to show you guys I modified that, and I want to let you know that I always try to do safety first. Sometimes you get started on these things and you're so excited about the way it's going to look that you forget about that. And the other thing is, I'm mostly going to be using these things, or the car itself in general, at car shows, at events, and so forth. So in my mind, I wasn't thinking there's going to be a lot of people out there daily driving this, but I know that that's going to actually happen. So I've already went ahead and modified this. It's not in its final stages, but I wanted to show you guys this. I've now made this removable and basically made a plate, and these two brackets now sandwiched between that plate. And the funny thing about it, if I can get it back on there, right, is it actually made it more durable. It doesn't bounce around as much because it's not just screwed into a piece of wood depending on the strength of the screws. This is more so dependent on some deeper bolts that are going through the entire thing, and that just gives it more security. Now, I have an idea where I'm going to match this piece here, and we're going to basically double side our piece of wood onto the front here, and I'm going to modify that a little bit more to give it a more cleaner look. But I just wanted to fill you guys that in the beginning, because what we're going to be doing today is also one of those circumstances where I want to make it removable for safety purposes. And I'm going to always tell you guys, these are modifications for car shows, for events, not necessarily for daily driving, because you could forget to take this out. You could wreck, unfortunately, and this could go flying. So I wanted to let you know I did modify it, so that if I have anybody in this car, I can pull that out very easily. But I've been enjoying, as you can see, I drive around with water and coffee all the time, and I almost had a cup of coffee and a water bottle in that since I've installed this. But let's get back to what this video is about. I just wanted to make sure you guys know I am not a professional installer. I did not create these trays. I am just installing these to show you ideas that I have and things that I like. You may hate it, you may love it, but if you do install it, make sure to think about your own personal safety first. So let's get started, guys. Okay, guys, so this video is going to be focused on the cigar tray. Now, I did get two of these when I ordered them from Floss VIP. They came in pairs, and I was thinking about using both of them on the backs of the seats, and I tried out a few different things and just hated the way that it was secured on there. This is a very heavy piece, and I knew it needed something very strong. I had already installed a TV mount in my son's room, and it clicked in the other night. I bet you that'll have the strength and the flexibility to move it around where I want. And also there's a removable plate that I wasn't going to use at first, but I think I'm going to be using that so I can remove this from the car completely if I need to bring somebody that's going to be sitting in the center. Let's say my son's car seat needs to go into the middle. I have that capability down the road. So basically, this is just a 17 to 42 inch swivel wall mount from Harbor Freight. This cost me $9.99 with a coupon. I think it runs either $16.99 or $19.99 out of the store, so still very inexpensive. And we're going to utilize this for more than just this cigar tray. I will show you guys quickly here after we go through this on another install that we're going to be doing using this piece. We are not going to be focusing it on this video, but you guys are going to really want to see that video, and I think it's going to be an awesome way to install the other trays. But basically, the cigar tray, I came up with an idea to put this in my middle rear hump. Since this is the long edition Mercedes, there's a lot of room in between seats, and I'm going to be able to install this by simply bolting two bolts down that you will never see. We're going to be basically putting little slits in the carpet, drilling some holes, and putting in some probably self-tapping screws that can be removed in the future, and you won't even notice the carpet. I've done this in other cars, so I know it is reversible to where if you did want to go back, you would not notice it. And if you really wanted to, you could slightly fill in those holes or put a rubber grommet in there, which most people do. So now that we've got this here, this is not how it comes. This plate does come off of it. but I wanted to show you guys how we're going to be installing it. So if this was the middle hump, which will be going out to the car in a second, we would be putting it there. Our cigar tray is going to be mounted on that, and what this is going to give us the capabilities of doing is not only angling the cigar tray, but this fully swivels back and forth so we can then pull it forward and then even level it out. So no matter where you pull your tray, you can have it level. And then this top piece is removable by removing these two screws that are on the sides here, which come inside here, but they can be pulled out or put in. So there's a few different ways you can mount this. But I already tested it out, test fitted it, and I was like, this is exactly what I want. So let's go out to the car. I'll show you guys the test fit and how it's going to go. Okay guys, so basically our mount is going to go like this, and our cigar tray is going to basically be screwed to this plate that is going to be attached. So it's going to look something like this most of the time. Now here's what's cool. If I wanted to slide it forward, okay, like that, let's say I wanted to have it more down to the ground, I can then pull that plate up, and now being mounted there, let's level that, I can, the nice thing, it is nice and stiff, so it's not going to move around on you. You could basically have it like that. Now I know I got this backwards, but you guys get the concept. So I can really maneuver it around where I want for car shows and then pull that off. And this is really just for your cigars, and you can put, you know, lighters and cigar cases in here as well too. I was a big time cigar person, stopped smoking cigars for years and really enjoy whiskey and wanted to get back into cigars. So I'm excited about installing this. I think it's gonna look awesome and give the original appearance that if somebody had money and they smoke cigars, they drink whiskey, these are the type of things that they would have done when this car came out if they were an option from the factory. So let's go ahead. We're basically going to mock this up. I think that right around there is gonna be a good point. And we're gonna mark our holes down here, cut a little slits in the carpet, drill our holes, and then we'll probably put some self-tapping screws through here. This will be mounted with the screws that came from VIP Customs. They're just little, basically self-tapping screws that'll go up underneath here, which this is basically double thick wood, I think. So let's go ahead, I'm gonna get this all set up and I'll show you guys how it comes out. Okay guys, so I've got the bracket mounted, and I really need to fill you in on this because if you're installing this in a Mercedes or similar style vehicle, you're going to run into this problem, and that is they use an insane amount of padding for sound deadening in between here. So before you really hit any type of metal, you're about, I would say, 2 inches down. So I used 3-inch screws so that I could snag the hole that I made with the drill bit. Now, you don't have to worry about snagging this carpet like I thought earlier. This is very heavy-duty carpet. Basically, it's got a hard plastic liner that is molded for this car, and then in between that and the frame or the metal, you're going to have some heavy-duty foam padding to basically deaden the sound, which is awesome. Now, the problem with that is it does give you a little tiny bit of flex, but I really tightened these bolts down. You could see I indented slightly here, but not obnoxious. I'm not worried about that, and it still allows me to basically pull this. You can see it flex a little bit. Now, the nice thing is it's really in there. It's down probably about a ½ inch into the actual metal, and I tightened them up using, basically I had to torque them down with a socket wrench. I couldn't even use my drill. And now what that does is, obviously we're going to be putting our plate to the bottom of that, and we'll do that next, but that allows that right there. This is very sturdy, very heavy duty. It's not really even going to bounce around. So it did do exactly what I wanted, and I'll be able to move it around. I'm just going to be a little cautious that I don't flex the carpet when moving it. So you just want to hold the bracket securely while moving it, which won't be that often, just for display purposes. It may stay in that position forever, and then the only thing I do is take that out if I have to use the center seat, which maybe never. So it's all up to you guys customizing this, putting it exactly where you want it. And if you like how I did it, I can easily fill you in on the exact way I did it, which I'm kind of demonstrating in this video. But if you have questions outside of that, feel free to contact me. Let's go ahead and mount the plate to the bottom of this, get it put in. I'll clean everything up and show you guys how everything looks. Okay guys, so I've got the cigar tray laid out upside down here to match the plate up. Now, the plate is about a ½ inch bigger than the actual bottom here. So I could simply just center it and have a little sticking off each edge, but I want this to have the appearance of floating when somebody sees it in the car. So my goal is to hide everything that I can. So what I'm going to do is basically give myself a little bit of room there, mark this edge and cut that whole edge off, and then be able to have it so you don't see the underneath plate. So let me go ahead, I'm going to mark it, and I'm going to cut it with a cutting wheel, and then we'll be able to screw this backing to it using those self-tapping screws. And we've got a lot of different areas here from the factory that we can go into, so a lot of stability. I'm not worried about this thing when I move it around pulling out or anything like that, so that's really nice. So let's go ahead and get it cut, and then we'll mount it into the car, and I'll show you guys how everything comes out. So real quick, this is how I laid my screws out just to make sure I had lots of security. These are those pretty small screws that are self-tapping, came from Floss VIP. I cut that edge, and I also painted it just so we wouldn't get any future rust. Now from the top, now you can see you're not going to see either edge. So let's go ahead and put this in the car now that we've got everything set up, and I'll show you guys how it looks with all of the other things inside the vehicle. Okay guys, so before I clean everything up and give you some really awesome angles and footage of this, I wanted to show you the usability of it. So this right here is nicely in reach of both the passengers. So if you were sitting on the other seat or in this seat. Now for driving around purposes, because standing straight up like this, it is a little bit wobbly only because of the stability of our floor there. Now you can pull this back, as you can see, and more so rest it there for regular driving, and it's very, very secure. So it's exactly what I wanted. You can even keep it there, and it's very usable. It's within arm's reach, and I think it came out awesome. Now, earlier in the video, I said I was going to show you guys this idea I had for these trays here. Now, these are your headrest trays that Mark from Floss VIP sends out some brackets that go into here. This drops down and goes over. It's actually very easy to take these headrests out. I thought it was going to be difficult. There's two screws, and then this back comes off, and there's a little clip right there. You squeeze that. You want to raise it all the way to the top, and you can pull these out. Now, I tried mounting that, and this just flopped around, and then I realized if you put the seat back, it's going to be angled and non-usable. So it's really a completely non-usable tray, in my opinion, in that sense. So when I purchased this mounting swivel mounting bracket, which is just a TV mount, I played around with some things and realized, I'm going to go ahead and shut the door and show you guys, that I could mount up underneath here, which I needed to reinstall all this leather anyways. Really just cut a small amount out of this if necessary, mount it to the metal that's behind here. So basically either attach something like a wooden block inside and then go to that, or attach it directly to the metal. Now keep in mind your swing arm would come out and you'd be able to move it like this because you'd be sideways with it. Now you can remove the whole top plate and basically then attach this to the arm. So now you could have your tray right here, swing it out and have it completely level right there, and you could even pretty much adjust it up and down and side to side at that point a little bit. So I thought that was really cool because I think that's perfect. So if somebody doesn't need a tray, they can just slide it over here, but they still have the access to the cup holder. I know we've got a bunch right here, but I think it's going to be awesome. That's going to finish the touch. Also, let me know what you guys think about my sandwich plate up front, to where you can take that tray completely out. That was not done on the first part. I will be doing an update to that where we modify it to match the interior, and then we'll do a full reveal of everything that we've installed in the car on the final episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed this cigar tray install. I think this is awesome. It's nice and sturdy in here. You know, if you went to an event, you had a few guys smoking cigars, and you wanted to bring this up like so, and you can see how stiff and sturdy this actually is, you could easily do something like that, and now you can enjoy the cigar tray with somebody, maybe some whiskey, some cigars. And that is exactly what I'm thinking about doing, is setting up a group in Tampa where we meet up once a month, we share cigars, we share whiskey, and we display our cars at a car show. So I'm going to go ahead and get this all set up and show you guys how I would present it if I was using it or at a car show. And feel free to let me know what you think in the comments, if this is something you would do, absolutely not anything you would do, or any ideas you have for me. Have an awesome day, guys. Enjoy the end of this video.